The Guard going up against Moist Moguls. This is the series that keeps on giving, and it's gifting us a map 3 now after 3 times of overtime. Guard, Josh RT, to be sending us over to Haven up mine. What a crazy way to be ending off that map.
Yeah, again, just unbelievable, the circumstances coming out already just from the last few rounds. Moist Moguls needed to win, what was it, 3 rounds in a row for them to even push into overtime, and they were able to do so. Throughout that game, though, it was the story of the defenses. Both of these defenses early on looked so stellar, or at least when they could finally get it together, as we did have a big burst from Moist at the very beginning of the game. But still, we had the Guard finally come out in the end with the dub, but what a way to do it still. They still had to fight back. At the very end of overtime, they had to still go through 3 overtimes where Moist had the lead in one of them.
Yeah, definitely a tough situation for the Guard, but being able to touch it out right at the end to make sure we can get another map. Looking over at this, though, my eyes are more so drawn on that right side.
Yeah, Thief was just having the game of his life. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the later parts of that first half, he was popping off, and I mean, like clutch overtime player basically had a lot of multiple kills where it felt those were the individual plays that I kept mentioning throughout that map. It's like this is a team that prides themselves on team fights, but ultimately it felt individual performances from Thief and Sim really drew this team across the line. A Proto at times as well. It's a mixture, I think, of those like reliance of individual plays and maybe a little bit less preparation for split. It felt like the Guard maybe had a better game plan, especially on their attacking side.
Hey, this ultimately in the end was the Guard's map pick going on into this. So for Moist Moguls, really close to being able to steal the map pick off of the Guard, to be able to take this in a 2-0, but still season look all around, and we still have one more map to be going on. But here it is. This is the one y'all were screaming about at the end of the match then. Hey, when you're ending off with the 3 kills and the whole team is jumping up, celebrating you up mine, like the vibes over there just seem immaculate.
Well, of course, he's a coach, a manager, man. But like, come on, you really had a lot of weight on that guy going in near the end of that game, going into the second half, going into those last few rounds. Josh RT on KJ, he wasn't able to come up big on Pearl, but he absolutely was on this map. He had very even numbers throughout both attack and defense. And come on, like last play, can you really take anything away from this guy? That is all you really need. He's going to take that highlight for the rest of his life.
No, it's so funny because those are the most average stats I've ever seen in my life. But like, it's great.
Exactly.
It's Josh RT that had the closing moment, and like watching the replay, watching him go, like stand up like he's ice cold was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I'm him.
Yeah, literally. Guys been playing
on your
FPS,
head.
like since 2006, bro. Like, I mean, that's a moment that him and his team are gonna remember for a long, long time. But yeah, here it is. Like again, this is the funniest thing ever. Like, I need the replay because look at him. Yeah,
Nets reaction.
It's like, oh my god, I can't believe he just did that. But like, that's such a beautiful team moment. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna get a laugh out of that every single time I watch that playback.
Just, hey, the energy over there is great. And I feel like, too, for the Guard coming into this, kind of need that. Player of yours is injured. You're in this situation now that you have your coach coming in for a player. You take that first map loss. To be able to take the win right there, like, that's just something you're going to be holding on to. I'll have to see, though, going on and continuing how that is going to be coming together. I think that maybe there's just a little bit of scaling up. Maybe when they just had to adjust to having Josh RT in, and it'll be interesting now that we head over to Haven to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of adjustments being made in this map pool, or in this composition entirely. I mean, again, Trent is the one playing Duelist at the moment, and he's still dropping numbers like the top of BCL, at least in that last map. But we're going into Haven, and we could be seeing a little bit more of that Trent raise having to come into effect. But overall, we're looking at a Haven that actually the Guard have been actually messing around with a little bit. We've seen very rare comp changes for this team, and Haven's the map that they actually have changed going into the split.
The thing with Haven for me is when I'm thinking about Moist Moguls, I actually really like Moist Moguls on Haven. I don't really think that we get to see too much. I mean, they don't opt to pick it as opposed to the Pearl. Instead, we get to see Haven as this third map decider, or in the case where the team picks it against them, but I really like them on it.
Yeah, I think it's undoubtedly probably their best map, right? This is the one map that they took off of M80 in that mid-season face-off playoff match, and it was an electric one to watch as well. Like, this is a Moist Moguls that I personally feel have really strong fundamentals. They've been messing around with their comp, but every single time they've changed their comp, it's always like a very slight switch up, but they find success regardless. Last week, they swapped out the Raze for a Jet. Were able to take down G2 13-5. So this is probably the best final map for Moist Moguls to go on. Granted, I still think Split, like, that was their best chance to close out this series. It only is going to get harder from here because, again, Guard are another team that I feel have really good fundamentals. Like, this is a team I feel is symbolic when it comes to Haven. Like, the only play that comes to mind is the Saya player dash double spray down into a trap wire. Like, this is a Guard that everyone knows is really strong on Haven.
For me, though, I'm just looking at Moist Moguls really coming together. It was something we talked about at the top of show. Flya, for example, talking about this team staying calm, sure that they can stay collected going on forward. Sure, losing Split like that one stings. That one hurts, you know?
Yeah.
But this is the chance now for them to come together, overcome that hurdle, and show us that they are worth being in the discussion for one of the top teams here.
And like, this is again where I'm gonna bring that quote up, talking about how Flya like gave the words, like, we are a team that, you know, like, we have these phrases, these lines that we say, we reset, we come back into every single series, every single round, like, it's 0-0. And I think that's a really critical mindset to have, because that was a grueling, like, look at the smiles. Like, I love to see that kind of stuff from a team that just lost a heartbreaking overtime. And, you know, the mentality, if it's true as Flya speaks, then this is like, to them, another best of one. Like, there's no worries whatsoever. Full mental reset. They play their own game, and just the key thing here is don't get in your own heads, Sierra.
And ultimately, they came into this knowing it was going to be a tough series that was going to be played out. So this seems fitting. It's time for Haven. It's time for Agent Select, and it's time for me to see you later.
Man, I am excited to see what the Guard are going to pull out this time around. It doesn't look like there are really any major changes that shouldn't be. Actually, a slight one. They're going to drop the Sova for a Sky. Double controller, no breach anymore here for the Guard, so an interesting switch up from them. And then for the side of MXM or Moist Moguls, they're running the exact same comp they ran against G2 Esports. I've always been a really big fan of the breach, but I'm interested to see. This is the first time I think I've ever witnessed Trent play anything other than a Sova on this map at Haven. And, you know, he's been very good so far in this series, but now in the Raze on Haven, this is where things, you know, in my mind, might switch up just a tad bit, and where things might fall apart. I don't know. I just feel his Sova's always been extremely, extremely good.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've also seen Trent be an absolute nutter when it comes to aim, right? So why not, right? Why not put him on this role? But again, it is a little scary not seeing that Sova and actually seeing how the Guard are going to be playing without that recon. Here comes the early play already off of the pistol round. You already have one person trying to make their way up into A ramp, but there is one here, and it's Sim.
I don't know if this is a wall that people have seen all that often, but I'll touch back on it here in a second as Net just gets barreled down by Brock, and Sim is going to be able to back away, but cut down by Trent at the very end. And things slow down here for the Guard. I don't think this is going to be a full commitment. You still have Josh RT working out towards mid, looking to see what he can find on this lurk.
Everyone from Moist Moguls holding their positions right now, including that KJ that has that alarm bot in mid.
Josh RT is going to break that alarm, but that'll send literal alarms going down Moist Mogul and you can see a shift from Flya already. Jonah P electing to get aggressive. Brock can't really afford to play aggressive. He's on such low HP, and that will be Moist Moguls kind of conceding this site. And I like Jonah P playing risky, but I also don't like it. It works out for him, so I guess I'll like it this time.
I had no idea about the short interaction either, so again, still very, very scary to even see that, but still. With this full control of the back line, Omen in this good spot, the paranoia is bound to come out. There goes the paranoia for the defenders, but more importantly, there goes Valen at least. Able to knock down 3 in terms of the paranoia, but there's still 2 players alive. There goes the kill back for 1. Thief in a 1v2, playing ring around the rosy with 1 and doesn't have any idea about the other, but it just does not matter. Trent explodes in the pistol for 3.
I'll touch back again on that wall. One thing that I think will be a default that we see from the Guard. The one thing I like about this wall a lot is it's going to deny vision from long with, and okay, now they switch it up. Never mind. I don't like this wall. I like this wall. I like both the walls actually, to be honest. But this wall that they threw in the pistol round denies early vision that pistol round. So like, if you're peeking out towards long, you're not gonna know if anyone's crossing towards short. And if you want to fight short and get that info, you're taking an instant 30 damage. So there are a lot of benefits to that wall that they threw early on. This wall kind of has the same effect with you're not going to know if any players cross, but it's also a wall to set you up for a B exit. So a lot of multi-purpose walls that we're going to see be thrown. And this is kind of the comp experiment that I think the guard were mentioning in that like player interview we got to watch.
Not a very familiar look. Never really seen that wall at all, or that type of wall at all from pros or here in challengers. It's a good start though, coming up from the guard. It's good to at least see again that craftiness that you know the players were actually mentioning before the game. Even without Josh RT being in this game, they were mentioning that they already have a really comfortable spot in playoffs right now. And to be honest, it's not a bad idea at this point of the meta to start playing around a bit.
I think to experiment it is a good call, but you always want to maximize your points. Still though, kind of testing comps and catching players off guard. The thing is, you also don't want to show too much of your hand of what you could pull out of playoffs. And so there's like a fine line you have to draw if you are the guard. Like, yeah, we can experiment, but how much do we want to show, kind of thing, And so Moist Moguls, they're getting the first taste of the experimental guard. This guard kick us off 2-0. Moist Moguls are still fighting for their playoff spot. I don't think they've fully secured it yet, but I mean, both teams beat 2-0 are in a really good spot to take it.
Yeah, historically, I said this before, but there has never been a team that has had a winning record in challengers and has not qualified to playoffs. I mean, every single team, even if they've qualified in 4th place, they have still qualified for playoffs.
Well, yeah, that makes sense, 3-2.
I would hope so. I would hope that's how that works.
Right, I hope. Rifle round. This wall, switch up for the B hit. And allowed, okay, so this wall would have allowed Valorant to kind of slip through, but I think, it looks like Moist Moguls read into that pretty well. Beat them to the punch. They got aggressive, and Flya wins a second duel here. The guard kind of falling apart on this A play. This wall, I don't know, hurting them, helping them. This time around, it hurts them. Makes things a little congested. It gives Moist Moguls an opportunity to spam players as they're crossing through. Puts Moist Moguls in the driver's seat in this round. Leaves it on to 2. This was the first rifle round, the first look at what the guard wanted to do in their rifle rounds, but just technically their bonus, so we're going to see more in this 4th round coming up. Bro just did it around the world. I don't. He took the hardest route to make that match happen.
He had to take a victory lap real quick before he ended up getting it.
The default bugs and popped the flash. We could have just done a quick corner pop. I don't know.
Just getting all the info on site. But yeah, both controllers going down early, it already spelled disaster. These 3 players, the only thing they could do is walk up.
Time out.
Plenty of credits here for the guard. Vandal in hand for Valen, yeah. This will be Moist Moguls trying to combat against this Viper setup. I mean, it's a very peculiar one that I haven't seen. Maybe someone else has seen it in some other region, but this is a new look when it comes to Viper on this map. The attacking side I always felt was limited, but this time looks like guard are trying to cook something up, but not gonna happen here. I think one thing that we're gonna see is they're swinging through their own wall, which automatically is gonna debilitate them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure the idea is that they're taking 50-50s.
Not even really
just a mysterious
50-50s.
battle.
It's a lot of covering your cross, trying to get deep into towards sewers.
Oh, of course, that too, yeah.
There's a gap in this wall towards sewers to allow them to walk, but it's not happening here. Jonah P has slipped through, and they've given up the A site, surprisingly. Brog doesn't have a Hunter's Fury, but he's posted up maybe for a Shock Dart lineup on this A site, or at least watching for anyone slipping through the A link.
This is just a gift here for the guard, though.
Sim's not ready for this one. Surely not, and Jonah P snaps back.
Jonah was almost the one not ready either. Good for Jonah to actually be able to get that kill. At least we're even down to the 4v4, but it was getting real scary. Valen, technically with a fake TP. Everyone waiting up for their opportunity to actually come out. Drone comes out to at least notice at least something under, but Moist Moguls at least trying to layer on the util before they end up going on, but they have no flash. They have no stun for lower. Out they go, though. They are able to get 2 kills out of this, but a Proto, the last one alive, has to take on a 1v3. All that was gone. The guard had their number.
Jonah P with a great lurk onto the A site. As contact over towards B, kind of pulling players from Moist Moguls out, like Brock gives up the A site completely, and Jonah P gets aggressive, knows he's got a really big timing on these players in their rotation, and so he pushes forward, catches a player, and you call a fake TP from Val, but he had no shrouded steps, and all he wanted to do was get under heaven so he could use his paranoia. He does exactly that. Maybe he wanted to go to top of heaven, but doesn't realize you can't TP top of heaven like that. So Moist Moguls still with enough to buy here, and this time the guard are not going to make an aggressive look towards A.
Oh, Hunter's Fury coming out very early for Moist Moguls, and it's only going to isolate the one because there is only one on this side of the site. But no, a Proto's behind the smoke, and he's actually going to be able to get one out of this, and the showstopper doesn't connect. A Proto is still going, 45 HP. Thief is still in the back of sight, and Sim is still bursting out. Moist are able to rail them down.
And holds it affirmatively, like the play in the back site with Thief maintaining control with his paranoia, dropping a smoke as well to deny anything for Trent. He gets caught in that paranoia, and that's how the swing comes through from Garage. Like a Proto just barely able to catch him. A missed shot from Trent as well. And a huge hold from a Proto. Thief in the back site as well, just putting smoke after smoke down, denying info there for the guard. That's a round pickup that is, I don't want to say snowballed off of the Hunter's Fury, but at least cues the immediate take and forces the guard's hand into the C site.
Guard early on, utilizing that wall, trying to cross back over into short. It's just the one in terms of net, while everyone else is taking up a free B site.
Very weakened guns here. Fly out, spots the head. The drone isn't spotted him whatsoever. Very risky as he tries to jump in TP. The lockdown will push these players out of the B site.
Trent.
There's still Trent that's just cooling. Bro's just pooling in the middle of the site. He's gonna try to get aggressive. He doesn't get one. 11 HP for Thief, and that, the retake just is so effective there from there on out.
Yeah, a Proto is just so good there. He just bursts out of Garage and he's able to get 3 on his own.
Wow.
Now sleep.
What more could you do there? Everyone needed to leave out because the lockdown, no answer for it either. But now going into the next, should have been a better buy for them. They already had a scrappy buy in the last.
They forced 2 rifles in that last. Trent, I mean, yeah, it makes sense this buy still going to be super, super weak. Moist Moguls, it's him to pick up the operator here. Out towards A long. I don't know what the plan is here because this wall kind of limits his ability as an operator to watch the cross and get in towards Cruz. He has to beat out the Viper's wall essentially, and he does that here. Takes full control off of some really nice util from Moist Moguls. A fault line, shock dart, recon bolt, and a smoke to get this control for him.
Toxin screen down.
Over in C, have such a good potential hold now. The Breach playing in Link. And you have the Omen alongside the KJ. A lot of util on the front side just to delay time for the rotation in. The guard, they already pull out. Bit of a trailblazer. They're about to go out from Garage. There's no util in Garage right now. These players can just go out right now. But everyone is looping back.
Toxins going up.
Slow walk up, no util here, so this is an empty B site with no watchful eye. Flies a little bit late to the party, and that allows Josh RT to slip through. And Josh RT for a big, big kill. No trade yet. As Sim misses his opportunity. That's a wide open B site. But look at the push down from a Proto. You talked about him popping out of Garage. He does it here again.
It's going to be the one coming out of long right now. It's going to be 2 players coming out of long. A Proto does end up succeeding, but everyone else from the guard already has C.
Net. Gonna try and catch 3 players, all with their backs turned. Nobody's looking towards B.
What?
And that paranoia doesn't catch anything. Net needed something, but it's a net 0. And Moist Moguls,
Enemy remaining.
now the retake should just be there and done, and
Wow.
it is. Valen falling in the back sights. 4-3, Moist Moguls making the retake look effortless after Net comes up with nothing.
They used Net's control Everyone else is controlled back over towards the A and B area. Net was the only one alive from that take. And he was so crucial. Like you said, just one kill there at least gives them a chance. Doesn't exactly equalize it. It knocks down the numbers, and now we're looking at the guard, who once again need to buy up because of their situation. It's going to be yet another weird one.
One enemy remaining.
Full buy here. And Sim back on the side. We're seeing the wall switch up this time. This should be a full A hit. And this has similar implications to what we saw in the Abyssal, but it won't be as effective. Sim will only lose 30. He's at 120, 150 already, so he'll be at 120 as he crosses through. He beats it anyways. And they're putting all this pressure they can, but that recon bolt confirms there's no one in towards A main, so Sim can take the fight. And Trent's gonna look for space towards Garage. They're trying to lure Sim into this kind of play.
When Brock's making his way up to... There could be so many numbers gone from Moist in an instant.
Finished.
Oh.
And Josh RT
It's flying
popping
again.
out of the mid side.
And Sim here on the op once more. Retakes the angle. There are 3 players, 4 players all around. And they've cut him off the angle as well. Josh RT on this lurk is successful for a second. Did you know he's a coach, by the way? Yes. Did you know he's a coach?
No, we haven't mentioned that at all. Ned is able to take down Sim, though. This is so scary for MXM. Brock around the corner. The only one here on A. Last person remaining is Thief in a 1v4. Josh RT with 2 very crucial kills back over towards that B side. With 2 big openings from the mosh pit in A.
Extremely successful lurks as well from Josh RT. He's maintaining mid control off of this turret, engaging in fights that, you know, can be 50-50 at times, but he's wary of it. The turret covers his mid, so if he wants to fight Garage, the turret will cover the walk down mid. If he wants to fight mid, the turret will cover the Garage walkout. So he's picking and choosing his battles, and he's winning them, at least in that round. So we tie up 4. And the guard are going to the next round with quite a bit of ultimates.
Toxin screen down.
And it won't be back-breaking at all for Moist. If anything, it's just going to be pivotal that the guard end up utilizing these potentially a little earlier so they can maybe recharge them. Of course, they have to go right. Moist are still 2 or 3 rounds away from getting reset, but if that ends up happening, and it could still happen, there's still a lot more Valorant to be played, the guard could find themselves way up going into the second.
Lockdown. Viper's Pit, Seekers from the shadows, or ultimates to make the A hit work. Val can TP back towards Defender spawn, lockdown in towards sewers, Viper's Pit to take Defender spawn, because there's a lot of possibilities here with these mixture of ults. And the recon ult goes extremely deep, but it still tags 2 players, and that's what he was waiting for.
Oh!
No more Viper's Pit and a triple tag as Trent down to 45. That one's gonna sting, and now the guard walking on eggshells here. Never mind, Jonah P just regrowth, so they're good for at least the time being, but still 100 HP apiece for Josh RT and Trent.
Brock is still potentially knocking down some of that HP with the shock darts, but it just doesn't matter. He gets surprised. Sim in the back. He has one more right next to him. Flya and Sim could go so big here. Sim gets the 1, but Flya, a huge flash in his face, and he's gone. 3v3 now.
Doombot to take more space here. Moist Moguls on the back foot of this retake. There's not a lot of util, no util whatsoever here for the guard. And Sim is already crept out. He's not looking. Nearly gets the no-scope off. Jonah P to fight, and Trent tucks into this smoke. He's looking to take somebody's back out, and that's what he does. Thief not ready, and a Proto in a clutch again to try and make this happen. A smoke in his face. It's not working in his favor. And already, Trent's got a nade he can lob over the back of default. And there was just no hope for him whatsoever. 5-4. The post plant looked damn good from the guard there.
To the very least, there was no way for Moist back into that site. And now Moist, they themselves start to sweat a little bit. They pull out the op once again in the hands of Sim, but where else does it go now? It's been in A almost every single round so far, and it's been getting shut down by either the Viper wall or just a push in general.
Now it's down towards mid. You already have Thief ready to break the turret if we were to go to window. This is another 5-man look over towards the A side. You avoid the fault line. Yes, Brock will get control. He's been feeding himself these ult orbs. And Sim out mid. Sim out for blood, but Flya strikes first. That's a big opening kill on this A site that will send and redirect the players the other way. And look at the timing. Sim just getting off the scope at the wrong second.
Toxins going up.
And Moist Moguls.
Uh-oh.
Man advantage. Flya's got his Rolling Thunder as well, so whichever site the guard want to go, Moist Moguls can back up and play a retake.
And that might be crucial. At the moment, we have a Viper's Pit ready and raring to go here for the guard. You can already see Net right now scaled up into Cubby, into C, and everyone else from the guard are going to capitalize on this. They're going to come out of garage. It's going to be 2 players in the back of sight. Proto potentially with the first contact.
Net needs to get out here. Net needs to get out, but a alarm bot gets in his way. Trent does avoid Net. That's beautiful timing. But a Proto out towards Logs. He finds 2, and that holds the line for a second longer. Rolling Thunder is too far to use, but they can still use it for this retake. And Jonah P is going to try to beat them to the punch. He avoids it.
He's able to get one out of it. Valen in the back, of course he goes down. He was stunned out. Jonah, however, has the spike in front of him, has a full flash. They finally go for the defuse, but the smoke should be gone before that. But a great off angle from Sim. Jonah P doesn't expect it. And Moist Moguls claw their way back into another one.
5-5. All 3 of these maps.
Was that important?
We start off in such close fashion. And it continues in that theme here in map number 3. The guard being pushed to their limits here. Moist Moguls. Up still for Sim. Lockdown left over for a Proto. And knives out for Sim as well.
Turret out.
An explosive round guaranteed with Trent on his showstopper. Net still with his Viper's Pit.
Alarm bot out.
A lot of crucial ultimates. As Moist Moguls. Another fault line but from a different angle. Flya usually sending it from like the A link. Gonna connect onto nobody here. Valen mid-TP is gonna avoid it, but Sim beats him to the punch.
He was safe for a second there, then he went for another TP. But as this happens, they actually put up so much contact back over towards A short. They shift back over towards C, back over towards B is very fast, but it just does not matter. There's only 2 people here on A for Moist. As giant as they look, the rest of Moist are still playing up B and C at the moment, still waiting up for that shift back from the guard. And they're about to run into him. Turret in their face. There's going to be 2 players already in B link.
Aftershock for Flya as well. As soon as that spike gets tapped. Oh, he's not in a position to use it this time around, though. He tried to bait it out. You can see Trent taps, wants to bait out that Aftershock. And see if he can draw anyone over towards A link. Doesn't happen. Josh RT here fighting alongside Jonah P.
Sim is coming back.
Really nice fall for Flya.
Here comes a Sova. It's going to be 3 players alongside him. 2 players are trying to play Link right now. Jonah P wins out one battle, but there's still another one behind him. And he finally takes him down. 1v3 for Trent. He still has a showstopper. Sim trying to peek. He goes out right in front of him. Almost. Trent knocks it down to a 1v1. And then he has his ultimate to boot. However, Moist, they have the lead going into not only the last round of the half, but of course, the second half.
A lot of factors coming into play. Still ultimates for both sides. The guard having theirs. Moist Moguls having some of their own, but Sim finally finding some net profit on his push with that operator from A. Valen tried to kind of back out of his A engagement and ends up walking, TPing right into the open arms. Sim, who's going to adjust his opping setup one more time. I think trying to maintain garage control here for the lockdown of a Proto. And he's definitely going to have a bloodbath here as Josh RT drops it. Ooh, oh my god. Actually almost catches him, I think.
It's just the one piece of info, though. It was just the KJ that you would expect to be lurking at any point. But so many people are right behind him. There are 4 people right now in mid for the guard. Ned's doing a good job putting out that contact over towards A right now, leaving 2 players waiting for that.
Chip shots over on Brock. Gets the contact, and that will cue Flya over. Retake possibilities with that lockdown are tremendous, and you can see Josh RT in a really nice lurk spot. He's been so good in these lurk spots as well. Looking to see if he can catch anyone in rotation. As the guard kind of scale their way up, are very silent about this. Flash to clear out sewers, and now they start to kick it into gear. Does Trent use his showstopper here? He is.
He does.
Take the site here. Look at the timing here as well from Josh RT. He's begun his wrap to see if he can break this lockdown that's about to come through. But he does. He does. Back-breaking. There goes a proto.
Incredible, incredible. They've been holding on down to that lockdown all the way up until this last round, and now it's gone. 2-man advantage now. Trent is knocking down the numbers. He's still going for more. The guard putting their stamp of approval on this half. Done getting overran by Moist.
6-6. Sim has got to go huge if he wants it to be 7-5, and it's not meant to be. A quiet scale up, and nobody on Moist Moguls was there to receive. Josh RT on his lurk once more, finding success in removing a Protoss lockdown from the equation. But again, an extremely close half. 6-6 once more. And it's almost like the second map never happened. There was no mental boom from Moist Moguls whatsoever.
I mean, this is the kind of game that we wanted to see for what was the match of the week. Pretty much the match of the first few weeks here at VCL. These two teams primed for a deep playoff run already in the last season. I mean, we had Moist make it to the winners semifinals. They had a close game. They took a map away from M80. The last team to win a BO3 against M80, the Guard. These two teams, they've been building up to this point, and they're giving us a banger.
Surround aggression from the Guard. 2-man walk down garage, 2-man walk down B. One holds the window, stares at paranoia, but there's no fault line to back up, which is what they would have done in their normal composition. And that's why I think this one doesn't work out, because nobody gets stunned in towards window. And everyone's
gonna get shocked.
Just walking into the players of Moist Moguls here. A calamity, if you will. It will start off in 7-6 fashion, 22 HP for the coach, the manager.
Bot coming back.
Does he have the clutch?
Why not?
He doesn't.
A tragedy.
Not a chance for Josh RT.
Poor guy. Gonna be kicking himself for that.
Yeah, he had that one in the bag. No lie. Moist
Moving
Moguls. Yeah, moving on. Moist Moguls. 7-6. It's been. I mean, this has been a big team fight between these two teams. A Proto, the top of the leaderboard, 14-10. As, I mean, it's been interesting the way that we see like a back and forth of every single Moist Mogul player. Like Flya was the guy in map 1, then it was Steep in map 2. Here it's a Proto in map 3. The Guard, well, I mean, like it's been kind of on-off. I feel like it's again they're a team that doesn't really have a pop-off player per se, as it's more of a very collective effort from everyone. I think we got the player interview from Quality. That was the best way to put it. It's like everyone is good. Like nobody outshines the other in any single match. Like there's no like X factor really.
Yeah, which is why you were seeing Flya, you know, sort of give a little bit of a respect to the Guard in terms of the current meta, right? Because if everyone can pop up, then everyone is able to kind of support in their roles, in their initiator, in their controller roles. As the round is finally dwindling down. Still very excited to see, of course, some of that creativity coming out here, because again, we still haven't seen that Viper here on this defensive side just yet.
8-6, Moist Moguls. The issue with the last, or not really the issue, they're just not going to have a full bonus here. It's essentially a rifle round where Thief will be the only one that gets hurt if he ends up going down, if they lose the round. Guard instead. Full rifles out here. No regrowth though from Jonah P, so Economy's hurt a little bit, but not too much for the Guard. And a very interesting take on this wall. I like it because it extends all the way towards sewers where they can get control. Instead, I mean, this is going to be big. They can post up opposite, but they don't have Tex as their main offer anymore. You can see Trent's walking up with the wall.
Sim fighting the wall. He bursts out without a flash. And he's still going. He's still going. He's into Nest now for Josh RT. He may have a nasty surprise, and indeed he does. Sim gets the big kill. There's still one more on site. Net is completely isolated. Net did not see the cross, but he still ends up getting the kill.
The KJ down here is going to commit Jonah P into this site fight. He's got to get some big heads here, and there's one, at least for now. Thief to go down, reinforcements on his right side. Jonah P looking for extra. He stands back, he flashes,
goodness.
and then queues up his spike. A big swing as he takes down Brock, and Valorant's forced to back away, overwhelmed by the pressure, but a man advantage leads in favor of the guard here. The spike yet to go down. And that turret's gonna be a saving grace as now they know the presence towards mid.
Oh, and they're planting for Link right now. Trent, he did not bite down. See the actual take into B, was still watching over an A. Nanostorm in his face, Val in a 1v1 right now. Oh, that peek from Flya. It could have been so big, but instead he goes down immediately and a Proto is forced to fight up in a 1v2. Yet another back and forth.
Great recovery as well from Jonah P in the middle of that site. Solid defense there. Went some 8-7 for the guard. More work to be done though for the guard. You really want to make this half yours. Back and forth these last two maps have been a trade-off here, but who pulls ahead? It's Moist Moguls will still have another buy within them. Sim's gonna drop over a rifle with Thief, so their economy's fine. They have a full buy regardless, and the guard, no ops just yet. Josh RT switched up here for a judge of all guns. Never mind, he switches back over to the Spectre. But he's
Get out of my way.
well, at least so far been caught up one time over towards Garage. Sim out long with a great shot into Jonah P. That cracks open this A defense.
That's a bold position that nobody from the guard has attempted just yet, and they get humbled for it the first time they try it. Still 2 players are here on A, including Trent around the corner. Oh, who's waiting for a big opportunity, but now it is only just the one. Valorant gets taken out, and Sim continues to delete the guard.
Hat trick of frags on the knives, and that third kill was something of a masterpiece, man.
Spike planted.
Jumps across and just catches the slightest glance of a player. And Moist Moguls, apparently that's what you needed. Gets Sim out on the battle lines, the front lines, and just tear them apart. 9-7, Moist Moguls with a great opening. An almost guaranteed flawless round unless they really want to go hunting for net, which looks to be the case. But they're not overstepping and not overcommitting, but still Sim with a lovely entry into the A site. And Moist Moguls, not a chance. That guard are taking that one. 9-7, a flawless round from MXM. We'll see the economy here in a second. Oh, never mind the replay. We'll see it after.
Of course, we need this replay though.
This entry from Sim was absurd.
Oh.
That was a crazy third kill.
Great hustle there from the rest of the team though. They got that first pick, and pretty much 4 of them were already on the front lines.
That round 1 resets the guard. No buy, no hero rifles, a chance to get up to 10 for Moist Moguls. They are actually going to go for 1 hero rifle here. And it's in the form of Jonah P, who's been having a pretty good third map. Sim off that 3K, topping the server. They're getting aggressive. This is a Moist Moguls that are willing to fight a lot more heavy out towards long now. Like these last 2 rounds, it's been Sim just going straight into it.
But now there's no real rush to kind of push things right now. The guard aren't giving any context whatsoever, including a cat smoke actually right now. To cover up these players even more, they have isolated Sim entirely, and there's a player that's jumped down. Trent jumps down behind Sim, and there's still the kills coming out from MXM, but still looking out for the economic damage. Josh RT should get called out. Actually, no, there is no KJ alive. So if he actually did want to go A, that could have worked out. Still 2 kills going in the head of the guard. That's all that they could really ask for. Going into the next round, these ultimates are still going to be so pivotal. Flya already on that Rolling Thunder. Josh RT gets 1 kill here, though. And that puts a massive, massive ultimate in their hands. And they got it. Mission accomplished. Doesn't matter what happens after this. Josh has the ultimate.
He'll move it into the next round. 3 ults, 4 ults, 5 ults. Gosh, a lot of ults coming online here for the guard. Almost everyone's got theirs. 2 players are just 1 off their own ultimates. Everyone else has got theirs. 3 of 5 so far, but Moist Moguls will have a Rolling Thunder and a Lockdown coming up here in a second.
Jeez.
The Hunter's Fury not too far off either, so we're seeing a mixed bag of these ults. in a very crucial stage of this matchup. 10-7. I think if Moist Moguls win this round, it honestly could spell the game for the guard here. The B sites where this Rolling Thunder looks to be committed, the turret sees nothing out towards mid. So this is a lot of free space here for Moist Moguls.
That's what it feels like. They're going to run into the alarm bot soon.
Josh RT's playing his lockdown for the B retake. They're trying. He's so far away from the optimal side to use it for a B retake, but
he does not care. Sim.
This is so quick.
Sim holds on to the. Are they actually already going to try to go for this? It doesn't matter. After shock in their face, and there goes the showstopper, cutting down the numbers once again. This is huge now for the guard. 3-man advantage. Rolling Thunder finally in their face, and everyone gets knocked down, except for Net. Net on the flank, but a Proto knocks him down. A 3v3 now. There goes the defuse, but it gets shut down immediately. Valen on top, a great jump. Thief, the angle, a Proto! Lines them all up and knocks them all down. Moist Moguls might be on the golden path to beating the guard.
And that was seriously probably one of the deal-breaking rounds here. And if you're the guard, worries start to arise. You have 3 ultimates, yes, to play with, but still, that was the golden round you needed to win.
The golden path.
Almost a full reset here. And the Moist Moguls are switching it up with a C hit. They might be prepared for this one, though. They just might. Net's got his Viper's Pit, but he's invested so much into this round with a judge. And he doesn't pop it early. There he is. Finally, I don't like that. I actually really don't like that ultimate.
It doesn't
matter.
matter.
Committed to the right site, right? Sim is already in.
Mouth of the Beast, potentially. There's 4 players here for the guard. Valen in the middle of the smoke. He's still looking for more to come over. Spectre in, but the Spectre doesn't get anything. That's so unfortunate. Still around the corner is Jonah P, but Jonah P, he's so gone. Trent! How does Trent pop up? The guard might have just found their way back off of the back of Trent. 1v2 now for Brock.
One on his back, and he doesn't even know it. Brock has got to spin around here.
It's over.
He just checked it, but he doesn't commit. They're going to swing at the same time, and not a chance there.
No way.
Just guns him down. Stinger up close is going to win that fight 9 out of 10 times, and that is a Trent classic saving the round.
Last player standing.
Couldn't be any easier, or at least more routine for this player specifically. 3 players, all in different angles, and he's able to get all of them easily. Now we go on into the next, where the guard have a chance once again. Lockdown still in play.
Nobody checking for him. Nobody. The opportunities given here to the guard. That was Moist Mogul's chance to get onto match in series points. Sim. Looking alone in towards garage. Going by himself off the recon bolt. Looks for the fight. Oh my god, Josh RT nearly goes down off of it. You can see Jonah P hustling to get the heal on already. But that's a big draw away. A big draw away from this A side as Trent's now the last man standing here on A. And a drone will take back space. Drone will give a lot of liberties here to Moist Moguls to take on the A site. And Trent knows he's got to back away. He's the only one here on A. And the rotations are far for Jonah P, so he's got to play careful now.
They're not speedy, though. They're not really heading into A with any pace. In fact, they're looking for somewhere else on this map. Oh no, Net might catch them all. No way! He gets 2, but that might just be it. Everyone else has time to rotate now. The KJ is still on the C side. 2 players over towards the B link. MXM, they're dwindling. They're running into Josh RT.
30 seconds left.
TP is in at a good area, at least, to try to catch up.
Spike planted.
A bit of this post plant setup. There's still no one over towards that long side. Everyone from MXM is playing garage.
That's for our Protoss lockdown. We'll use it here in a second. And this makes the retake. Kicked into gear. A great paranoia to delay these players coming in from window. And a Proto just piecing up one. Looking for a second here as Thief, but he's forced back away. Jonah P's in the site. That forced them in the open. Thief's got to do it all now on 13 HP. A clutch has to be had. And the tap, the defuse, but he doesn't swing the right way. Thief around the corner. Thief with his back turn to Jonah P. And Moist Moguls still cannot find 12. And there is just enough time for this defuse. 11-9. The guard keep them off of match in series point.
It all started with Net, though. Moist figuring out where to go even. And they still end up running into net. No contact in that mid area. They still make their way out of garage, and they still somehow posted up to a 2v2 at the end. But a timeout here. A well-timed one here from Moist. As the game finally is starting to slip a little bit from them. As they've had the lead ever since, what, the 6th round, 7th round?
There are a little bit of worried looks here from Moist Moguls. Games can, slip out of your hands just as quick as you start to pull ahead. And this is what's happening here for Moist Moguls. I think 2 maps in a row. They had control of split, 1 or 2 lost rounds, and they started to tunnel vision. A Proto at 23, Sim at 21. The one consistent factor through this series has been Sim. Through each map, he's put up numbers. And here, on Haven, he's done it again. This time with a new partner in crime being a Proto. Last map it was Steve. The map before was Flya. Still a lockdown here for the guard. Still a showstopper for Trent. This is another swing round. Momentum leans heavy to the guard.
Guard.
Oh my god! This kid's not real. This kid's not real, because why would you do that?
He ran through the spam and he's going
Why
again!
would you expect this kid to do this?
You have to be kidding me! Simple's back! There goes Sim with a big kill, but you still have Valen in the back line. The guard had been cut down completely by 1 player.
And it's 3 left over. Yes, they're going to try and use this lockdown to get back into the site. Trent will lead the way, but everyone goes down long, and he doesn't get the timing to catch these players. Send a Hail Mary, get on the defuse now, put pressure and try and make it happen.
Here we go. Diffuse is not going in yet.
Not happening.
Thief gets the first kill. Brock is still holding on, still waiting. Diffuse is out. 12-9. Moist are only 1 step away.
13 rounds is what the golden number is. And Moist are just so close, but so far away. It's got to be 3 perfect here from the guard. Everything in their power to get them across this line. A 3-0 start. And look at the relief on their faces once they got into match point. The job is not done.
It's going to be big here early for the guard. You still have Trent.
Aggressive here.
Playing A long again.
Very aggressive. That's the first time we've seen a paranoia of all things get sent this way. And Seekers to get info. A flash to put pressure.
How's the answer, though, after for the guard? They put on so much pressure, but they know that C&B could get hit out of nowhere.
Josh RT's the only watchful eye of BNC. And I think his alarm bot just got broken off of a nanoswarm popped by a Proto, I believe. So now he's got to commit to the B site. C site completely open.
Whoa.
And I would like this if there was like a retake ultimate here from the guard, but there's none. C site's got no defender. And Flya with the spike, with 1 off of his ultimate. And it's an open site. 5-on-5 retake where they have to fight against a rolling thunder for this post plan.
At least that's what it seems like. Flya going in for the plant. Gonna get it safe. Rolling thunder coming up. The guard, best of luck, my friends. They're gonna be splitting.
There's a flank coming in as well, but it's just been removed. Down goes net in an instant.
Now everyone else is in the back of sight now, except for one over towards garage. It might actually be a 1v1. There goes the rolling thunder. A Proto has won his battle. Everyone else from the guard has been, oh my god, they've been lassoed, but the TP from Valen has actually been huge. A 3v3 now. As now the guard with full control of sight, a Proto still with garage, looking for an angle. A Proto, somebody! No! Unbelievable! How does nobody get on that spike? Trent holds on. The iron will is there, but a Proto. He had so much time to decide whether or not he wanted to shoot the diffuser or the 2 people outside of it.
And a Proto Look at that. The disappointment in their faces. They know that was
disbelief.
the round. Rolling Thunder to play with. The Sim gets caught up in it, so he can't get into the fight. He gets caught out because he gets caught in the Rolling Thunder.
Standing ahead.
And they thought they had that in the bag. Balance TP keeps them alive with a huge two-piece trade.
Barely alive. Look at their buy.
Protoss one off his lockdown. The buy's not going to help, like you said. They're still alive, but they're barely breathing. And they're walking up again to the A site here. The guard have only been hit by this kind of exit once in this half. And this could come as a shock.
Net is in such a good position for this, though. Are they going to clear him? There goes the smoke. They don't clear him. Net with a first. They're still going for more. A Proto is able to take him down. One more player on the back of sight. It could be Trent again to go big, but it's only a stinger. Man advantage for Moist.
Lockdown for a Proto here as well.
Valen's here. Valen's already fighting on the front side.
No chance.
He's done. Josh RT, the old man. He looks to put it to rest now. A 1v2. Lockdown keeps him away. The spike is finally going to go down. Josh RT's first game in years might end in him going down. Should end in him going down. He's down to 3 HP. Flya and a Proto. You cannot scrap this now. And indeed they don't. Moist Moguls have beaten one of the giants of challengers and have put themselves in a pretty damn good place for playoffs.
Back to back, they do it. There is, I mean, they're not happy about it, it looks like. They should be happy about it. With two Goliaths between the guard and G2, they get it done here in 2-1 fashion, exhilarating fashion in these last two maps. It wasn't easy, Gus, and it certainly won't be easy for the rest of challengers, but they did it here. And Sierra, we're gonna bring you back on here in a second. What a series we had, a long and labored one.
Hey, but going into this, they knew that a win here would not be easy. It was going to be one that was drawn out to the bitter end. And hey, going into the later parts of Haven, this started to look a little bit scary at some points as the guards were not one to go down easy. But Moist Moguls, they clutched it up finally, and they're undefeated in Split 2 up mine. That was an incredible performance.
Yeah, again, great for Moist Moguls near the very end again, but the guard, it's not like they didn't have a good wrap on things. You had Trent heating up more and more as the game went. Thankfully, we had some good plays from Josh RT in the first half, but overall, the structure for the guard, it was completely different. It was a completely different look for them, and simply put, the Viper wall that they were trusting every single round wasn't getting them that mileage that they needed in the first half. Might have actually still helped in the second half, but in the end, the guard, that was a completely different look from what we're ever going to see from them. So is it exactly a surprise? No, not entirely, but a huge, huge win regardless for Moist for huge playoff implications.
All I'm hearing here is with this loss coming out from the guard, the next time these two teams meet, whenever that is going to be, that it is going to be such an exciting meetup to then have the guard at the full capabilities, because this was the matchup that we wanted to see. I mean, for Moist Moguls, I definitely don't want the addition of the guards from the victory whatsoever, because this is a before now they were undefeated. This is they have put in this work. They've always just been in the shadows, but here it is, their victory.
I think you have to be really happy with the way that the guard and Moist Moguls played. Again, like, the asterisk on this match is going to be they played with a coach. Like, they weren't at their full potential. That is true. And they're also doing a lot of experimental stuff. I feel like the Harbor Viper, the Viper and Omen here on this map as well for Haven. Trent playing the Raze. A lot of unfamiliarity. So I look at both sides, and I'm happy the way both teams played. I think Moist Moguls put up a really good performance. Still, though, it was a lot of, like, individual performances at times. Like, I think this one as well was a Proto and Sim. Map number 2 was 100% Thief. So there's still a lot of work that I think Moist Moguls need to get done to maintain, like, this consistency even past Split 2 going into playoffs.
At this point, though, that they can say, regardless of the work, every team needs to be putting in work. They're not going to be resting until they can get to the top. Considering that M80 took that loss earlier to Shopify, going on into Challengers now up mine, Moist Moguls is the only undefeated team when you're looking at these series, and that is definitely a feat there.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. First of all, today we saw both M80 and the guard lose today. So, I mean, just entirely. If we didn't come into this week thinking that any team could beat any other team, I think now that narrative is being pushed just a little bit more. There still is so much work for them to do still in this season, but like I said before, there has never been a team that has had a winning record out of the group stage and has not made playoffs. So at this point, Moist Moguls, they don't have to worry too much about this regular season, but I still think that they're going to be focused and ready for playoffs.
Well, with the victory comes the end of a broadcast, but we have some exciting stuff coming up. We have some standing by, getting ready for an interview, so we're going to take a short break and come back with that.
30 seconds left. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left. One. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Your fault. One enemy remaining. Flawless. One enemy remaining.
I got no complications clouding up my life. Oh, I'm so done with waiting.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
I'm gonna get what's mine. Gotta keep on pushing, believe in myself. Keeping my head up, the best I've ever
One enemy remaining.
chased my
One enemy remaining.
way.
One enemy remaining.
I came to slay. Ooh, I got it in my sights. So ooh, I'm gonna get mine. This time
One enemy remaining.
I can't get out of it.
One enemy remaining.
I'm not giving up this time. No, I'm not giving up. Give it all I
Going on for this series, it was the two undefeated teams in Group B, but only one could come out victorious, and Moguls is going to be that team. I'm going to be chatting with Sim a little bit more about that. First off, congratulations on the victory here. It's a great
Thank you.
2-1. I know there was a lot of expectations this was going to be close. Did you think it was going to be this close?
Yeah, we definitely came into it knowing it was be a pretty close match. It was surprising seeing Josh sub in after what happened to Tex, but he honestly had some insane moments, so some good games.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a shock up to start off the day, but I'm glad ultimately we got to see, at least from everyone, a good full game, because this was definitely one that we've all been looking forward to. And now with this victory, out of both groups, Moist Moguls are the only undefeated team so far in Split 2 since M80 took the loss earlier. You defeat the Guard. How are you feeling about that?
It definitely feels good. It seems like coming into like this split, no one really had us at one of the top tier teams, but this shows that we can really hang with everyone.
Yeah, it seems that it's still M80, the Guard, that are the talk of the town in terms of when we're talking about these top teams. So whereabouts are you seeing Moist Moguls stacked up in comparison to that? And do you think that conversation starts to shift after today?
I think we're definitely a top contender against those teams. We're easily a top 3 team in the Challengers League.
All right, and then easily, I love that. So go forward now. We're looking at staying obviously undefeated and looking off at playoffs. How are you feeling just about Moist Moguls as a squad moving on forward? Because obviously everyone in Challengers has these higher aspirations.
I'm feeling really good about it. We're putting in a lot of work, a lot of practice. We're just trying to hammered down on some of our mistakes that we're making. And once we can figure those little mistakes out and we fine tune ourselves, we're just going to be stomping everyone.
Well, looking back, because we dropped this split. It was one that went over to overtime. When you're looking back at split, are you thinking that's one of the maps where, hey, there's mistakes that are being made, or whereabouts was that? Because it definitely was one that was so closing out the series in a 2-0.
Split is definitely a rough map for us, and I made a lot of individual mistakes on that map, which I know now. So hopefully after that series, we're definitely going to be a better split team. And once we become a better split team, we're going to be a really good 7-map team.
Hey, for whatever mistakes you made, you pop back over on Haven. Even near the end there, you're popping off with the knives, just going for the quick little dive into B. For moments like that for yourself as this Jet, are those moments where the team telling you what to do, or is it just, hey, wait a second, guys, like, I got this?
Most of the rounds with knives, it's me calling where I want to go with them and just kind of taking over by myself.
Just trust me, I'll make some magic happen. It's okay. All right. I know it's been a long day. We'll wrap this one up, and it's going to be our fan zone question. So this one coming out from Matthew, asking, how does Ludwig's and Moist Critical's pregame speeches affect you in the team before a match?
They're definitely funny. They get us in the right mood. We had Tarek today give us a pregame speech. It was pretty good. But it's just a good way to start off the day with like something funny and some, motivation.
Gotta keep the good vibes rolling. That's fantastic. Congratulations yet again on the win. It's definitely well deserved. And have a great rest of your night, okay?
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. As for us, we're gonna keep that on moving on over to our desk with Upmind and Sully, just to be wrapping up the day here. I mean, today, a lot of fun. We're bringing in apparently my cats. We're bringing in the cat cam. They're both over there. One's having a little cat bath. The other one's off view of camera and privacy here at production. So cats need privacy too. All right, but what a way to be ending off our day. Going into this, we knew both were going to be hype here. Upmind and the guard Moist Moguls does not want to disappoint. Neither were, honestly.
No, today was going to be a huge benchmark day for the two teams that were facing these top teams, because we're seeing these two teams at a just a weird point overall in their trajectory. M80, they're a team that are still very comfortable. They know for a fact that they're heading into playoffs, but what a result that we ended up getting anyways from Shopify Rebellion. And the game that we thought that would end up being close was close. Thankfully, we ended up getting that banger, but there are a couple of other very, very close games next week, even though it's not like M80 guard level games in the mid table where the battle is hottest for the circuit points. Next week is huge.
Things are ramping up. This is how I love to see a split play out. I want to make sure that we can go through the split and make sure week after week it just gets some more intense. And hey, the soup is best served hot in that middle murky of the standings that we have going on here. And the fact that things are already shifting when we're looking at our standings as of who is the top team. This is already such a drastic look. So in comparison to our split where things were a bit more defined, and this is crazy.
This one's looking a little wicked, I'm not going to lie. Moist Moguls, the only undefeated team currently. I think one of the biggest surprises probably of Split 2 is Moist Moguls being at the top of the table 3-0. It's not like the most outlandish thing to say, but it's still a pretty big surprise. I'm looking at these group standings. There's still a lot more VALORANT to be played. Shopify at the top of Group A is also probably a really big surprise after that win over M80. Things are starting to shake up. And again, there are only 8 spots left in playoffs, so you're looking for a top 4 placement in either of your groups. You're also looking for as many circuit points as you can. So a lot is on the line for these teams right now. And, we still have one more day of Week 8, then we've got 2 more weeks after. Every single matchup matters, I think more so than Split 1, just purely because there are so many more circuit points on the line here.
I think we have a little bit of recency bias here if we're saying that Moist Moguls on the top is the craziest, because I think the fact that Shopify Rebellion on top of the group is the craziest because they ended off Group A in last place looking at last split. So just this whole group A has just been so exciting to see where everyone has been stacking up. So this has been sick, and we're still going to be having another round of matches this week. So, hey, this is only day 2 of the week. So hopefully we can keep everything going smoothly. We're speaking of games. G2 going up against Mad Lion. 1G2 have struggled a little bit, so this is definitely the chance to show us what they got. That, hey, they made it as far in the mid-season face-off as they did for a reason. Followed up by Oxygen Esports and TSM there, Sully.
Yeah, a very exciting match today. I think G2, you know, call me like, you know, maybe we'll see tomorrow if I just get blown out of the water. But I think G2 probably are going to beat Mad Lions. I don't know about that one. But Oxygen versus TSM, a really close game again. I think we're at the point in the split where those games tomorrow are going to matter a lot more for the rest of this split because, I mean, your third matchup, you either want to start, you're either going to get a winning record or you're going to unfortunately end with a losing record. For a lot of these teams, they're in a position like G2 where if they lose, they're going to end up with a losing record. Disguise is already being one of those teams confirmed.
Yeah, they definitely have to make sure they can get these wins while they still can, because time's starting to run out for a couple of our squads, and time also running out for today's broadcast. It has been a lot of fun, guys. But hey, I know you got a final to go study for, and
Too many.
I have a late dinner to go eat. So thanks everyone so much for tuning in. Make sure to be coming back tomorrow for the matches, but until then, hope you have a safe and fun night.
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Party's over. There you are, shit.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Player standing. One enemy remaining. Flawless. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Fire in the hole! I blew you up!
30 seconds left. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Down.